Welcome. It is July 3rd, 2017, and welcome to the Nightly Draw. I am the crackpot cartoonist himself, John Lotshaw. How you doing? I hope you had a good weekend. Yes, here's your Overlook Hotel. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one this week if we're already referencing Kubrick movies. Anyway, how you doing? I hope you had a good weekend. I sure did. I did the show at the hold on a second. I don't have my normal kill switch because I don't know what's happened. My microphone is still not working right. I don't know what's going on. Oh well. But anyway, as I said, I did the Atlantic Comic Convention this weekend. I sold a grand total of one book. Which really, was more than one book more than I had any right to, because you never know when you go to a show whether you're going to sell anything or not. And I was a little kind of unprepared. This was a last minute thing, and I really, I promoted it here, but none of y'all showed up. No, I'm kidding. I know. But anyway. I had a lot of fun, and was watching a lot of people, watching a lot of folks. Really interesting thing did happen to me though, very early on. Fella comes up, and the show is just opened. Fella comes up and he says, "John Lotshaw?" Yeah. And he puts out his hand and he says, "Steve Noblet." Now, Steve Noblet was a guy I went to high school. I went to elementary school. I went to high school with him. He was in the 4th grade class that I was in at Pleasant Grove Elementary in 1975, 1976. So I have known him longer, as long as any of the other folks that I knew that I grew up with. So it was amazing to see him, because I had literally not seen him since graduation night in 1984. So we caught up. It was great. And Steve, if you're watching, I really enjoyed seeing you, buddy. It was great to see you after so long, and just total surprise, just out of the blue. I was not expecting that at all, and that made up for the fact that I only sold one book. That was fantastic. So I really enjoyed. I had a great time this weekend, so anyway, but I was there. I was watching a lot of folks and a lot of what they were doing and what was selling and what wasn't selling. I wasn't as prepared as I would have wanted to be for a show of any size, really. I don't have, and I've got them on order, or I'm going to have them on order. Issue 1 of the Accidental Centaurs comic book, because I had at least 5 people ask, "Do you have issue 1?" Well, no. So I'm going to order that. I've got issue 9, which is Negative Spaces. Since that's complete, that's going to debut at Dragon Con. But I'm also going to do a couple of other things. We're going to work on one of them tonight. One of the things that I want to do is I want to do some prints. I noticed a lot of people were selling prints, and I really don't have anything. And since most people don't really know what I do, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to go over some ideas for some prints that I'm going to do, and kind of get your feedback, see what you think. So hello to everybody that's on board. I'm glad to see you're there. Yeah, the audio, this mic is still not working. I don't know what it is, and it's not the mic. I think I've narrowed it down. It's not the microphone, because the way that I was bringing it in isn't bringing even the audio from the camera. So I'm using the camera audio. It's not ideal. It's not even unideal. So I just got to deal with it and try to figure out what's going on and try to debug that. But that's what I'm going to do. One of the things I'm going to do tomorrow. Since we're not doing a show tomorrow, I got a couple of days to try and figure that out. So we'll go into that. But the show went really well. As I said, even though I didn't sell that much, because it was a good opportunity to just see what was going on. Cause it's been a year since I've been at a show, and so I've got some ideas for some things. I've started making my marching list, my list of things that I want to do, that I need to get done before Dragon Con. I'm going to start tackling that. Oh yeah, that's right. We've got the patron program, and that's going on right now over on Patreon. I need to get my where's my my little button here? Go away. No, I don't want to look at Facebook. Go scram. These notifications. Okay, finally. All right, pop that out. Pop it. Pop-O-Matic pops the dice. Glorioski. Computers. Where is it? Is it over on this window? I don't know. Yes. No wonder I couldn't find it. All right, I'm sorry. Boy, I'm organized this week, aren't I? It's getting off to a great organizational start. All right, Patreon. Here we go. Patreon. We've got multiple levels of Patreon support. And Jesse, get out of there. Those wrappers, yes, they smell like they're chocolate wrappers, is what they are, and so she's gotten into them. What was I talking about? Patreon. Yes, Patreon. Here we go. Patreon's a big part of the support for Accidental Centaurs and for this. Everything that you need to know is right over there at patreon.com/Accidental Centaurs. There's multiple levels of support. Every little bit helps. Starts at $5, and you get pages for new stuff that's going up. And there's a new $30 a month level, which will get you the naughty stuff as well as that comes up. And I'm doing the return of Not Safe for Work Fridays. So there will be something naughty every Friday, but only for $30 and up. So go over there to patreon.com. I really appreciate, even like I said, even $5 a month it helps and is greatly appreciated. So please go and check that out. For news and information, there is, and I got to click on so many windows, so little time. For information and updates and news, there is the Facebook page at facebook.com/Accidental Centaurs. You can follow that, and whenever we get ready to do one of these live broadcasts, or we get ready to a showing or anything, goes out there first, goes out to Twitter also, but that's the best place to find that information is right there at Facebook. And then there's also the Etsy shop. This also is a big part of the support, hopefully, I would like it to be, of Accidental Centaurs. There's original art there. There's original, page art. There's the Not Safe for Work for Fridays. Artwork is up there, as well as all kinds of Accidental Centaurs art. It's etsy.com/shop/Accidental Centaurs. Again, I appreciate anything you want to purchase. Just buy it there. And also, I think I had tried setting up. I think I did set up commission pages where you can actually commission original artwork and do it through Etsy. It's a nice way of managing that. So please go over to Etsy, check that out, and like it, and please buy stuff. I really would need to get rid of some of this artwork. It's all over the place. Speaking of subscribing, YouTube subscriptions. I know that I'm preaching to the choir here, telling you folks about this because you're watching. But there's a couple of things I've been finding out. One is, I need 100 subscribers to get a URL that is human readable. That's good. And we're at 60. We're at 60, And so thank you for all 60 of you for signing up for that. I really appreciate that. Need to get to 100. Please tell your friends if they're interested in computers, if they're retro computing, going to do some retro computing stuff. If they're interested in just nerdy stuff, Full Tilt Nerdity is going to handle that. Movies of Mass Distraction is going to be really cool once that gets up and going, and I'm going to be working on that over the next week or two, and hope to launch that before Dragon Con. But then there's some other tiers. I need to get 10,000 views on the channel where people have watched the shows 10,000 times of all of it aggregated together. At that point, then they do a review and allow me to monetize the channel. So please watch the shows over. Just watch them. Just put them on in the background and watch them. I just need to get that. Now, we're at 300 and something now, and at this rate, it's going to be it's going to be sometime in the 24th century. It feels like. But please watch the shows. We're gonna, there's going to be more content that's not just this going up. That will help. But put it on in the background and just kind of let it go. Whatever. But I need to get it up to 10,000, and then also at 1,000 subscribers, there's another monetization thing that happens. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Didn't really get a chance to read up on it before the show. But so tell your friends, please get them to subscribe. Get them to subscribe. Bribe them. Do whatever you need to, please, because I really need those subscribers. I really would appreciate that. But also another thing that I appreciate is book sales. Got to mention that we've got the books over there on for those of you who are who haven't been here every night. And I know this is getting a little old for those of you who've seen this before, but there are people who are going to be watching this fresh, and they need to know that the books are available on Lulu. These are full color books collecting the first 3 stories and the in volume 1 and the complete 100-page graphic novel over there on book 2 of Dictating the Course. These are full color books. They are gorgeous. They are print on demand. That's why they're pricey. Sorry about that. There's not much that I can do about that because the books are just expensive to produce one off like that. But they are gorgeous. They look fantastic. And there is also digital versions, PDF versions that you can buy from Lulu and download, and those are not as expensive because they are, just digital versions. But would greatly appreciate it if you went over there and bought some of that, as well as there's also the naughty books, and there are 3 of those. Again, they're all full color, and they are available through Lulu at the URL that you see there. Next appearance is going to be at Dragon Con, September 1st through 4th this year, of course. We'll be at the Atlanta Merchandise Mart. Building 3 is where we were last year. I will be next to Bill Holbrook and the Eisner-winning Tom Heinches, who is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday? No such thing. It's a Seinfeld reference. Anyway, so happy birthday, Tom. We are going to be out there at Dragon Con for the 4 days. Come on by if you're in the Atlanta area and you're going to Dragon Con. Please swing by. With happy joy to see you. So come on by, and I'd really love to see you. So. Patrons, yes, patrons. Let me find. I do. Okay. I want to give a shout out to the patrons because that is very important. You'll see the names coming in the little scroll right down there. Isn't that great? Almost like real television. Got some. We've added a patron, and I appreciate that. Christopher Cole, if memory serves, his name will come up here in just a second. But he is the latest to sign on board, and I appreciate that. Appreciate the support from the patrons. That's a big part of making this happen. So I do appreciate their support, and it'll be sliding past here in just a moment. One thing that as I was moving on, and finally going to move into drawing. You know, I left my Copic pens, the drawing pens, out in the car. Because yesterday I got home, I was getting everything out, and I literally saw the rain coming down the street. Literally, I saw the wall of water coming down the street, and I was like, okay, I can either get all my stuff and get drenched, or I can just grab the computer and barely make it to the house. So I barely made it into the house. So all my pens and pencils, and I do have pens and pencils that I can use, but all the ones that I took with me are out in the car. And there's the patrons listed down below. Thank you again to all of those. So anyways, as I was saying, I don't have my regular, like, for example, this is the empty mug. Well, it's got an old colored pencil in it, but this is normally my mug for the Copic pens, my Star Trek: The Next Generation mug. It's got a chip taken out of it. I don't know how that happened. But I do have some pens that we can use tonight. So, but what I'm going to work on is a little. Okay, let me back up. One of the things that I want to do is I was thinking about doing a Doctor Who print. A few years ago, Tom Richmond did a print where he did caricatures of all 11 Doctors at the time. And I got that print, and I actually got the original for Colin Baker, because Colin just doesn't get any love. You know, everybody talks about how bad of a doctor he was, and he really wasn't. They didn't have time to do with him what they. He's a lot like Capaldi's doctor, and then he was started out unlikable, and they were going to try and move him into being more likable. That's what they've been able to do with Capaldi. Let's see, a video of giving the dog a bath. Yeah, well, no. Life's too short to put up with having to wrestle her into the bath. Video tour of my studio. Yes, I do plan to do that, but I don't want to do it in the state that it's in, and I'll, that's another thing that I could talk about. Yes, he just had a bad producer. Yes, Colin Baker had a bad producer, but they were going to do something with him that they'd never done with the Doctor, and actually have some growth for the Doctor, character growth. So he started out unlikable, and they were going to try and over time he was going to soften and become a more likable character, so that by the time it came time for him to leave and regenerate, he was going to be a much more likable character. And that's exactly what they did with Capaldi. You know, Capaldi was, he had Clara there as his carer, so that she could care, so he didn't have to. You know, and now I tell you these last two episodes, the speech that he gives to the two masters was just like, okay, you know what, Moffat, you can do Drek like that one where the moon was a giant egg, but on the other hand, you do stuff like that, and it was. I really enjoyed the series season finale, and I'm looking for. It was a great little twist at the end, little surprise, setting up the Christmas special. That's going to be fun. So yeah, Colin Baker had a lot of problems, a lot of things going against, a lot of strikes against him, and he just didn't get a fair shake, I don't think. But anyway, so I got the Colin Baker because I knew nobody else was going to want Colin Baker because everything's he was a terrible doctor. Well, no, he wasn't. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking, how we ended up on this. Yeah, I know, going off on tangent. I know, it never happens here, right? But anyway, I was thinking about doing a Doctor Who print, and the reason why is A few years ago, I did a video, and I needed to draw some mad scientists. So I did this little drawing here, where I did a kind of a generic Einstein professor kind of guy, and then I drew Professor Frink from The Simpsons, and then Matt Smith's doctor, and then Doc Brown, and I would have put Dr. Clayton Forrester in there, but I didn't think anybody the clients would get it. I think I was really pushing with Doctor Who, but I really liked the way that the Matt Smith came out, because I got the bow legs and the chin, and the bow tie, of course. And I put that up on Facebook, and I got a lot of really good response from it. So I was thinking about doing a Doctor Who print where I do all of the doctors in kind of that kind of very cartoony Bigfoot style. And so that's one that I was been thinking about working on. And then another one is another one that I wanted to do is 2 years ago. I drew this, just did this pencil drawing, and put it up on Facebook. And I was so surprised at how well my Rick and Morty both, especially Rick really came out well. I normally don't draw stuff on model very well, but that just came out really, really good. And if you can't tell, Rick has landed his spaceship on top of Alex and Sam and squashed them flat. And so they're just, goo left a residue on the side of the spaceship, and Lenny's arguing with Rick, who couldn't care less. So I was thinking about doing this print, doing this, and doing inking it or redrawing it, inking it, and coloring it, and doing that as a print for Dragon Con. And another idea, and I don't have any kind of any artwork to show, any artwork, is maybe doing a mashup with Guardians of the Galaxy, especially Baby Groot. Now, James Rowe has just asked about licensing issues. Yeah, okay. That's kind of a gray area, having to do with fair use. One of the criteria for whether the use of a copyrighted material is legitimate or not, and the legitimate fair use, is it substantially transformative? Meaning, are you just copying what this other work, or are you creating a substantially new artwork from it? Now, that is a big issue. Now, getting back to Rick and Morty here, the Rick and Morty, let me go back to that. I can argue that this is substantially transformative. I'm not copying a specific piece that Rick and Morty has done, and the addition of the Accidental Centaurs characters makes this substantially substantially transformative act, creating unarguably new artwork and new form that has not existed before. So again, it's kind of a murky thing, going between copyright, trademark. It's a murky thing. However, I don't feel one of the things that bugs me, that just bugs me, is people at cons who do prints and things like that of characters that they really have no connection to whatsoever. It's a, especially like Deadpool. I see a million Deadpool pieces at shows. And none of these people have worked with Deadpool. They've never, but they're not doing something substantially new, substantially transformative with it. They're not bringing their own characters. They're not putting their own take into it. They're not doing it they're aping the style of the comic books. And so I have a problem with that. Now, on the other hand, across the aisle from us at DragonCon, there's a couple that are very successful with a webcomic, and they have a print of that they do based on Steven Universe. Now, I'm not very familiar. I'm not very familiar with Steven Universe. I know of it, and I know, but I do know that the piece that they do is in a substantially different style. It's interpreting the characters into their style. And I had no problem with that, because that is, again, substantially transformative. They're making it something their own. It's inspired by Steven Universe. They're doing it in their own style. I think it's a great. I think that's a great idea. Showing a love for something that they enjoy by doing it in their style, and that's what I'm planning on doing. John, did I get the date right? The date for Mark. The date for what? Anyway. So the copyright question is a very valid question, and it's one to think about. But again, also another thing is I'm not that big. I'm not that big. And so, the BBC and Time Warner are really not going to come after me. That's not. Again, I think that I'm legally on solid ground in terms of the fair use doctrine there. So the date. No, the Rick and Morty, that was from 2 years ago. That was actually. That drawing was actually done to celebrate or when they announced the date of season 2 being launched. So that's what that is. It's an old drawing. That drawing is an old drawing. So anyway, I did some sketches. Let me see. Is this the sketchbook that I have the sketches in? Is this it? Yes, this is it. Let me show you a couple of the sketches that I did. First off, and I apologize for the camera. It looks terrible. I know. Geez, that's another thing. I've got to do some work on these cameras here. Did a drawing here of Ray Blaster and Ort. Just kind of trying to work some ideas out for that. You really can't. You're not going to really be able to see this because it's just too light. But I did a little doodle here of the 5th Doctor and the 4th Doctor handing out jelly babies. Of course, right? It's 4th Doctor. He's got to hand out jelly babies. So, working out the Doctor Who concept. Okay, here we go. We've got Colin Baker's 6th Doctor over here. I actually kind of like the attitude in that one, because that is very much Colin Baker's Doctor. Sylvester McCoy. I actually got to meet Sylvester McCoy. Interesting story about that. Matt Smith, who is actually going to be at DragonCon. So that's going to be pretty good. So it's trying to kind of that was what was missing from the original Doctor Who drawing. I forgot to give him a fez. All those years ago. Now it's been bugging me. Something was missing from that drawing, and now I know what it is. It was the fez. It was the fez. All right. Then, okay, I got Tennant's Doctor here, which, again, you're not going to really be able to see these very well. And started working on the War Doctor here. I think when I draw the War Doctor, he's going to have an alien bursting out of his chest. And I was doing Christopher Eccleston's Doctor from memory, so that's why the ears are so big. And then started doodling on Hartnell and Troughton. Again, you really can't see this because it's just light blue pencil doodling, and the camera is terrible. and then Pertwee with his Venusian Aikido there. And then, oh yeah, I was thinking about doing some prints based on retro computing. So there's a TRS-80. I didn't draw the keyboard. Didn't really feel like drawing the keyboard. And then I drew Jessie. Aww. What a sweetie pie. So, no, I am not going to have Hartman's doctor floating in a space pyramid. No, I'm not. So anyway, that was what I did over at the show. All right. So, yeah, aw, what a sweetie pie. She's really cute. Okay, so so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do it on this paper. And again, I apologize profusely for the camera. It's just, if I get rid of the bars, I blow everything out. And I don't know. I'm not really happy with any of the way that all of this is set up. Going back to, oh, yes, going back to the idea of a studio tour. I really would like to do a studio tour. And yeah, despite all the jokes of what state it's in, state of Georgia, haha. It's really a mess, and I'm really disgusted with the way that it's set up. I'm not happy with it one bit. Yeah, Genesis of the Daleks for the win. Absolutely great. That one of the best episodes of the whole of everything in Doctor Who. Absolutely. So the studio tour. Yeah, it's just too. I don't like the way that this is set up. There's. I don't know if you can hear this, but my redneck idiot neighbors are setting off fireworks because it's the 3rd of July. Oh, brother. No, I'm disgusted with the studio, Tom. What do you think? I don't like the way the things are set up here. It's not. I mean, it was okay when I wasn't doing any shows. But now, because of the lighting and the cameras, and the camera's looking like this camera, and we're going to poke you in the eye. So put your eye out, kid. I really seriously need to rework this. And I mentioned this in an earlier show about when Adam Smith, the guy who wrote The Wealth of Nations, where did that come from? I've been watching too much Jeopardy. That's what it is. Anyway, Adam Savage was talking about a concept that he called first order of retrievability, where everything has a place, and that place, you don't have to move something in order to get to something else. And right now, I have nothing close to that. If I were to turn the camera and put the light over here on the table next to me, it's horrifying, the mess that's here. And I'm looking here. There's a canceled check. What? And that's from an account that I haven't had in years. It's just. And then I've got these drawer units under here, and they are filled with stuff that I don't need here. I have Yes, it is LED lighting, and I need to change that out with incandescents or CFLs. Mark, you're absolutely right. They are LED lights. They're great for when it's just me, but when I have a camera on it. These, I've got a big unit here of drawers, and what's in it? USB and Ethernet cables. I don't need them here, but I need those drawers for something else. But I want to rearrange and rebuild all of this. Again, that's where certain things like that come in handy. Hint, hint. So that I can, be able to do stuff like that. And look at this. We're at 38 minutes, and I've managed to draw one oval. Yeah, moving right along, aren't we? Okay, so let me call back up the Rick and Morty so that I have that as a reference here, so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So Rick has a unibrow, and then they do this kind of thing with his cheeks kind of puffing out, and then the drool. No, I got rid of my ADB cables so long ago, I don't even remember when I got rid of them. I don't even think I have a computer anymore that uses ADB. Although I will get some. Oh no, I take it back. No, it doesn't. I was going to say the iMac, but the iMac famously was the first computer to have USB as the only connection standard. I mean, there were other computers that had USB before that, but the iMac was the first one to. Trying to get these points on his hair just right. So, and then this is a little right there, and then it kind of goes in the back. Need to move this. No, I don't want to resize it. I want to move it. There we go. All right, so kind of put his belt right there like that. And then his legs are straight down. And the shoes are just little things. And actually his legs need to be a little longer than that. It's amazing how these, this is kind of the trend in cartoon character design, is to do these bad drawings. And I blame Seth MacFarlane. This is totally coming from and then his lab coat comes all the way down here and kind of flares out like that. Mark, you just need to get a better connection. I think is the problem that you're having is, you've got DSL, and let's just face it, DSL's crap. I can't believe that they'd still let AT&T get away with selling that service. 1.5 megabits per second is just not going to be enough to handle um, okay. Yeah, so, and actually, it's kind of a good thing that these characters are so poorly designed these days, because that allows my off-model drawing to actually look on model. Yikes. Yeah, you're right, Tom. A lot of it did the whole idea of going off model. That really comes from. You're right. It was popularized by Ren and Stimpy, and started. I needed some water there. It kind of started with the Mighty Mouse revival that Crick Lucy worked on. That Ralph Bakshi was the director and producer of. But it's just become kind of the standard, and it's because the problem with shows like Family Guy being so popular in terms of the quality of animation in the future is that young animators are going to look at it and say, "Oh, that's what animation is supposed to look like." And it's not. That's garbage. But when you grow up, if all you're fed is hamburger, you're not going to really be able to know. When you're being offered filet mignon. No more. I think it's DSL. It's DSL because it's DSL caps out at 1.5 megabits per second, and I remember when I had DSL, and I got fed up with AT&T, Bell South in those days, and I got rid of it, and I got Comcast. Now, granted, Comcast and I have had our ups and downs in our relationship, but it's been a whole lot better than dealing with the cable. Or dealing with I wouldn't be able to do this if I had DSL. There's just no way. Now, would I like to have Google Fiber? Oh yes, please. Would I like to have whatever Comcast is going to try to counter them with? Yes, sure. I think that would be fantastic. I would love to have that. But right now I've actually got a pretty fast. I need to run a speed test on it and see exactly what I have. But I know that I've got a pretty fast connection, pretty good connection, and even though it's best attempt. I don't have the business class, which I've been tempted to upgrade to. Business class guarantees you a rate, a throughput rate, whereas the residential gives you is best attempt. So you don't, they don't guarantee that you're going to get X, but they say, well, we'll do our best, and I'll give this to them. They do come pretty darn close to getting it. Now I'm going to have to later go when I actually do the actual inking on this. Do the spaceship, get the detail on the spaceship, because there is a lot of detail that they have on this show. If you haven't watched Rick and Morty, it is one of the best things that I think that Cartoon Network has ever run. It's a brilliantly written show, and it actually started out as kind of a warped version of Back to the Future, which endears it to me even more. And I'm not really that worried about getting it. I want to get it close to on model, but if it's not 100% on model, I don't care, because this is my style. But I don't even draw my own stuff on model, so I'm not worried about. Oh, my knee is killing me. Ouch. Okay, so then I'm going to have the corpses of Alex and Sam down in here. Yeah, I understand the writing on you're right. The writing on most of Adult Swim, I don't care for. It's just, you're right. It's edgy for the sake of being edgy, and edgy gets old after a while. But Rick and Morty is very smart. I thought. I think it's very well written, and. Yes, I know, Mark, and I'm actually trying to get better about closing my lines. I know. Mark has suffered through having to color my stuff, and when he does color, he does a brilliant job. It's beautiful stuff. Back in the old days, back in the days of the original continuity, the cover to the very first book, Mark did that, and it was really the first drawing of the characters that had any kind of depth and shading to it. He did just a beautiful job on that, and so anyway. So yeah, he can complain about my not filling in my lines, connecting my lines. But I'm going to say, what, the colorblind colorist, Tom? Is that the one you're referring to? Oh boy, yeah, that was fun. Hey, he wasn't white. It was very pale skin tone and white and gray. Distinct colors, Tom. They were distinct colors. Let's see who. And also, Mark colored the watch crossover too, and colored that famous panel with that inspired the Magic Globes. So. One of the other kinds of hey, Darkwing Dude. One of the things that I was thinking about doing for this was actually doing some videos based on the lessons that I gave at the Catoosa County Library last week. And basically started a short video series on how to basics of cartooning and basics of drawing. So I don't know if y'all might be interested in that. Hey, look at that! We have we had 7, which is a record. I think that's the most we've had so far at any one time during the show. Yes, and a good day to you too, sir. That's a quote from Big Lebowski. Does he still? Oh no, he has health problems. Oh boy, yeah, I'm losing it. I'm starting to lose it. I've got these little memes in here, and I know bringing them up every now and then.
It stinks.
I need to grab some from Big Lebowski. I think that would be pretty fun. Because Big Lebowski's got so many that I could grab. Yeah, well, that's like your opinion, man. Although most of them have the F word in them, and I really don't want to do that. But there's a lot of them. Yeah, I know. That assumes that I ever had it. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know, Mark. I know, and I'm so sorry. 10 years later, I'm still so sorry about the workload that you got dropped with. But it was beautiful. It came out beautiful. It was just gorgeous work. I mean, it really was. It just came out and it really just popped because Mark did this great shading on everybody, and it was just a beautiful work that he did. I mean. Is the watch crossover up on the watch site? I don't remember if it is or not. I was thinking that it's not because they had lost their site and then brought it back, and then it wasn't the same afterwards. So I don't know if they lost it or not. And it's in the 400-page omnibus from the classic strip, but it just doesn't really do it justice in print, because the black and white just kind of crushed everything, and it just came out. Yeah. And again, Mark, I'm so sorry. But you did a great job with it. You really did. And so what was I? Oh boy, it's one of those days. So anyway, gonna kind of think that's going to be kind of what I'm going to do for. I'm going to go and get my pens and ink this, and it's I may work some more on Sam and Alex, and have maybe a little puddle of blood and goo coming out of them. Okay, great, Darkwing. Looking forward to seeing it. Darkwing's has a webcomic, and he's asked for permission to have Alex and Sam I'll do a little one day crossover. So we'll be looking for that. And when that's official and everything, and we know dates and everything, I'll let you guys know about that. Too many White Russians. Hey man, there's a beverage here. Like I said, even though the movie's got I think it was like 269 F-bombs in the movie. It's still got so many great lines to you don't dress like that on a work day, do you? What day is this? So okay, good. It is there. Okay, it is still there. All right, good. Accidental. Mark mentions that the crossover is still up there. If you go to thewatch.com and go to the archives and go about halfway down that page, is number 12, the Accidental Watch. My title for it was Watch This. I thought that was better. I liked that better, but I trying to merge the two. That's fine. I just like Watch This. Anyway. Yeah, I can't believe that was 10 years ago. That was amazing. I mean, a lot of good came out of that. Friendships that I have now, people that I know, and Tom. So yeah, at least I'm housebroken. I mean, yeah, the movie, that movie's a great movie. I love that movie. My favorite Coen Brothers movie. So I'm gonna have to pull my my DVD. Well, I have it on Blu-ray. No, I don't have a Blu-ray. I have a No, I do have a Blu-ray. I gotta find it. I bought that son of a gun on Blu-ray. I have it here on Blu-ray somewhere. Yeah, we're gonna leave that one right there, Tom. 5 rows. All right. Anyway, yeah, it's getting late now, and I'm rambling. So, but anyway, so I'm gonna work on that some over the Independence Day weekend. But yeah, I need to do some. I really want to do some renovation here. I really don't like the way this is set up, and I'm kind of just looking at it and like, ugh, oy. I wanted Laserdisc, really. We had Big Lebowski on Laserdisc. I didn't know they didn't actually I didn't know that it had come out on Laserdisc. I thought it was kind of after the Laserdisc era. Yeah, I really want to redo this whole space, because it's not. It's just difficult to get to things. I want to be able to, like, my paper is way up here out of reach, and I really need to redo these chairs. I actually want to build some of those kneeling chairs. Those, I've had those in the past, and those are really, really comfortable. And another thing is the glare on my glasses. I'm sick and tired of that. So I need to redo the lighting in here for this. I need to redo it so that, so that things like that, like the way this camera looks, is I can eliminate that. And that's the wrong button. There we go. So that, and look at this. I mean, good grief. But I want to, and also, just the accessibility. The paper, I've got paper stacked on it, and paper that I need is under other papers that I don't need right now. And so, it's just a mess getting this stuff down. There's paper that I need that is out of reach from a seated position. I want to get all of that over within reach, so that I can just grab what I need, tools that I need, pens that I need. Boom, they're right there. The inks right there. The markers right there. I really, and that whole, and then move the Ethernet cables from out of here. So, because I don't need the Ethernet cables there. I need to store the Ethernet cables somewhere else. I don't need them right here. And then when if I ever get around to replacing this computer, actually not this, moving the functionality of this over to another computer that is replacing what the Hackintosh was supposed to be, because the Hackintosh just it's an older computer. I mean, let's be fair, it's from 2010. It just does not have the horsepower that even this laptop, which is a late 20. Let's see, what year is this? Is it 2013? Oh, 2011. Excuse me, late 2011. This was the last of the 17-inch MacBook Pros. It has with an i7. It has the horsepower to encode the stream and send it up live. The quad Core Duos, Core 2 quads that are over there just doesn't have that horsepower. But I want to, have a hutch over here for the computer and do that properly, and then a shelf over here where I can put stuff like this, like the pencil sharpener, where I can get at it, and the camera, and a monitor, so that I can look at the monitor and read the questions and not be looking over here like this. I can look straight into the straight into the camera. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and Skype just opened here. But I want to I want to get this redone, and just redo it with the video in mind, because I really like doing this, and I think that it seems like, look at this, wow, 8. That is the most viewers we've had so far during the live show. This is a record. 8. I'm stunned. And I need to build a Threadripper. I just need to build a Hackintosh that is going to with some i7s in it. Or did you hear about the i9s? Intel finally has announced i9s, Core i9s, and it's going to come in 10 cores and 18 cores. God, that's the machine I need. Good grief. 18 cores. That's 36 threads, kids, for those of you keeping score at home. So, yeah. But I'd like to but that's going to be, even if I reuse some of the elements that I've got over here, I'm going to need a new graphics card, because the graphics card in there is a 2010 vintage graphics card. New MOBO, new memory, new processor. So you're looking at $600 there easily for even on the low end. Hello. Sorry, I can't see. The Cena Designs. Hello, welcome. Glad you're here, even though it's getting a little late. I'm glad you're here. I hope you come back. I was drawing Rick and Morty earlier, believe it or not, and Lenny, and what's left of Alex and Sam. Yeah, I know the process. Yeah, I know it's $2,000 and that's at quantity. That's not in quantities of 100. It's $2,000. So, well, the thing about the AMD is, and again, there's another one of the things where we go off topic, but that's fantastic. That's wonderful. AMD. The Hackintosh software tends to not like AMD chips, and I really need to be running Mac OS, because the software that I'm using to do this with is called Mimo Live, and it's Mac only. In fact, it uses Quartz Composer very heavily to do effects like the way I was flipping in and flipping off, which is more appropriate for Rick and Morty. Bringing in the Rick and Morty graphic and the Mad Doctors. That's actually being done in real time in Quartz Composer, and then being sent out to an encoder. So I want to stay, and because I'm a Mac guy, I like Macs. The AMD doesn't really do since Apple is really optimizing the Mac OS stuff for Intel's version of x86. The AMD tends to not work as well, from what I understand. So, yeah, I know it's much less, but in order to stay with this software, it means staying in the Mac ecosystem. If I was doing something, if I was like, for example, if I had if instead of using these little webcams, and I had real cameras, and I had a Blackmagic Design ATEM switcher, and I was just using this as a terminal, it wouldn't matter, because this is just being used as a terminal, a control surface, to control the actual switcher and encoder, which is separate, dedicated hardware. So that really doesn't matter. And but at this point, I can't do that, because that takes, this, which comes from this. Yes, working that back in. And also, I keep forgetting about it. I do offer a tip jar, subtle hint. So if you like what you see, feel free to drop a few shekels my way. I really would appreciate it. Is that a comic or a novel? Well, my stuff is, I'm not, well, I try to be funny, but I'm not. Accidental Centaurs is a webcomic. And surprisingly, it gets drawn very little. Right now, it's available at accidentalcentaurs.com. And I really, you'd think I would have a slide for that. I don't. I need to make a, okay, note to self, make slide for Accidental Centaurs. But it's at accidentalcentaurs.com. I'm going to make a note of that so I have that on the next show. There's the backs, all of the stories up to are available to the public right now through that site. There is a new story that is being drawn, but that right now I'm offering that to the patrons. So that will only be available to the patrons until that story is complete, and then it gets all pushed out into print and online. Make slide for ac.com. Okay, made a note of that. Okay. But Accidental Centaurs has been running for those of you who don't know, and those of you who may be watching this in the future and don't know what the heck is going on after all this. It's webcomics. I've been doing it since 2002. I rebooted it in 2011. And so what we're on now is the rebooted continuity. And it's the story of Alex and Sam, who were scientists from Earth who were working on an experimental teleporter, and it goes kablooey. They find themselves in another dimension, and they are been transformed into centaurs. Why? Well, that's part of why they're there, is to try to figure that out. Humans don't exist in that environment, so they were transformed into something else that does fit the biology and physics of that world. Lenny is a djinn who has been assigned to help them. Who has assigned them? Well, that's part of the mystery. And why? Yeah, that's also another part of the mystery. Sometimes he's not as much help as he could be. He has a cranky personality and known for snarking and pop culture references, kind of like his creator. But the strips that are up there are set in the first year of their new lives in this world. So that's why the comic books, which I think I have one over here. I have one. Yeah, here we go. By the comic, this is issue 1. This is an old version because you see it's got the Moonbase Press version. The new version has I think this was actually printed by Lulu. Yes, this was, because look, it's in black and white. The new ones are in color. The current ones are in color, and it has a Kevin and Kel ad on the back. These are very rare. Yeah, it's year 1. This is year 1 of their in the other dimension. Year 2 is going to be a huge arc that I'm working on. It's taking time because I want all the elements to be right on it, and so it's going to be very intricate, all interconnected. It's going to be really good, and I'm really happy the way that writing has been going. The last completed story, Negative Spaces, was all in pantomime. There was no dialogue, and that was a challenge. That was a real challenge. And then Seven Centauri, which is the new one, is a very intricate story with multiple storylines, and I'm really pleased with the way that's come out. So anyway, so that is what Accidental Centaurs is. Please go back and check the storylines out. I hope you'll like them. And they are collected in comic books and digital and collections, which are, they're a little pricey, but that's because they are full color books. They just really nice printing jobs, but it's print on demand. And I am looking at some trying to find some cheaper ways to do it, but color is expensive. It's really expensive, but it really needs the color. Okay, so we're at 1:15. Wow, 1:15. Any last minute questions? I was thinking maybe next time I might do. Well, we're not going to do Total Request Tuesday because tomorrow is Independence Day, so no show tomorrow because of the Independence holiday here in the United States. For those of you who are not in the U.S. I'm sorry. Independence Day is one of my favorite holidays. I love Independence Day. Great. I love Independence Day. So the next stream will be Thursday. No, Wednesday. What am I saying? Wednesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. It'll be Wednesday. So we'll do requests. We'll do total request Wednesday instead. And maybe later in the week we'll do kind of do a tutorial. Maybe talk about how to draw how I draw Bigfoot characters and how it's broken down into basic shapes and you build up from there. Because that kind of went really well with the kids. You know, for kids. That's another meme I need to grab from another Coen Brothers movie, Unsucker Proxy. So the next stream will be at 10 p.m. Eastern Time to 7 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. Universal Coordinated Time, for those of you who need to figure that out for wherever on this planet you may be. I keep looking over here because I've got my questions. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Please make my dog happy. James, you mentioned a bathing video. Maybe Jessie's very funny. The way she acts when she's not happy, and if I can get somebody to film it, maybe doing a dog washing video, take her over to the Petco and to the self bathing and get her wet, and get somebody to, because I'm not going to handle a camera and her at the same time. She's a handful. I wasn't talking to you, Tom. I know about you and dogs. I remember when you came over here and you just turned into a statue when Jake came over to you. That was I'd never seen anybody do that before. But anyway, so yeah, I might do that. But anyway, another thing I was thinking about doing some retro computing posters about TRS-80s, and I got some ideas for some of those. Real computers don't use a mouse, that sort of thing. So we'll, I'll think about that. But are there any last questions before we shut it down here? Because we're at a minute and an hour and 20, coming on an hour and 20 here. Okay. Well, while I'm waiting to see if there's any last minute questions, please, if you've not subscribed and you're watching this, please subscribe, because it really helps, and you get to know when we're doing all kinds of wacky stuff like this. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you did miss the drawing, because it's getting late and I'm getting tired. Please come back. Please come back to Vicenia. Please come back. We'd love to have you. I'm glad you came. Next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, 10 o'clock, Total Request Wednesday, although it's normally Total Request Tuesday because of the holiday. And basically what I do is I sit here with a blank sheet of paper and I wait for somebody to say what they want me to draw. So please come on by. I hope you do. That's we've had a lot of fun on the Total Request. We've done 2 of them so far, and that's been a lot of fun doing it. So please come back. We're not trying to run you off. It's going on 11:30, and I'm fading. So anyway, so if there are, will we ever see centaurs on roller skates? You know what? Come back on Wednesday. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. That's what Total Request Wednesday's for, or Tuesday. But it's you know the drill. All right, so I think I'm gonna pull the plug and say goodnight. So good night. Thank you for joining us. We will be back again, back here, same bat time, same bat channel. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. UTC, and you can do the math from there. Yes, my brain hurts, so it doesn't take much to get it to hurt. So, thank you again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. On that note, I think we will say good night. So, till next time, keep drawing. Oh.